What's going on, people? My name is Eric Piccioni. I'm documenting my path to financial freedom. This is a little bit different than what I've used to be doing, where it's like all good things. We're actually in a bit of a pickle right now. So I wanted to talk about that in this video because the point of this channel is to document our process and path to financial freedom. A lot of other things along the way, and like travel and what have you. But the point of this channel is not to talk about how everything is when it's all polished and perfect and everything is smooth sailing. A lot of it is built around giving raw feedback on how we're doing. So getting right into it, the first thing that is going on is we've got to put a pause on the extra lifestyle that we've gotten ourselves into, not necessarily in a bad way where we're like spending $2,000 on dinner, but we currently were putting ourselves in a place where we were putting away more than we needed to for certain expenses, like baby expenses or any kind of travel expenses. We would save for it in advance. And I'm not saying that's not something that we will do in the future, but what we are going to do right now is put a pause on all that stuff, because what I would consider the position we're in right now is we're in like DEFCON 5 mode, not like critical, shut everything down and just like hide in a bunker, but more so in a mindset of let's just focus, reprioritize, and execute on the things that are most important for us. So for right now, we have a vacancy for our rental house. We have nobody currently renting or planning to rent our Airbnb house hack. So that puts us in a little bit of a bind because we're not creating any income for our second property, and we're not having anyone potentially joining our unit or renting out our basement for the house we currently live in. So that puts us in a little bit of a pickle because we have to pay a mortgage for a house that we're not renting or creating an income for, which sucks dramatically. But also, we're not making any income from the house that we currently live in for the next month. So we have about a month to find someone for the other house and the house that we used to live in and that we're renting out right now. So that means that we're losing out on about $3,500 in monthly recurring revenue, and a lot of that is net revenue or total revenue. So I think we're netting maybe $500 clean out of all of that. So it's not like a massive return anyway, but it's nice to not have to spend $3,500 every month on or have to spend that extra amount because we don't make it in revenue. So now we're coming out of pocket to pay for that if there's no revenue that equals that amount. So it makes it a little challenging to feel confident to progress right now. So it's okay. I mean, it's a part of life. You're going to have these moments where it's not ideal. So we got to reprioritize how we're spending our money. And given that my wife is still out of the country, she's coming back today actually, but we don't have that income. So that also is a tiny bit challenging just because it's solely on me, and a lot of job situations are getting restructured. So that's the income wise is something that we've got to just like put a pause on in terms of all these extra expenses. So right now it's like pause all these transfers, pause all these extra things that we're doing, and reshift our focus first to just like keep the wheels going, which is mainly just keeping the house paid and the other rental that we have, just like making sure that those are good, but also putting ourselves in a position where we can pay off our debts as fast as possible. So first things first, let's get these houses rented. Let's get those figured out. Step one. And then step two is once those are good, then we can really attack our debts and pay those off as fast as possible with extra income. So the general plan as of now is, God willing, within the next 30 days, we'll have all of that taken care of on the rental side. Those are rented and we're good there. And then we can take all of that extra expense that we're putting away to just give ourselves a buffer for the mortgages. And we can take that extra, I think it's like $800 or maybe $1,000, and put it into our debts and pay that off aggressively too. So based on where we're at, we should have our debts paid off within 6 months. It's about $27,000 in total outstanding debt. if I'm not mistaken, something around that. And we could, in theory, pay off the one of our debts as today. It's like 10 grand or something, just under that. But the problem is, we don't want to use that 10 if we need it right now. So I want to see how things go over the next couple days and weeks, and then assuming everything is good and we can breathe a little bit, then we'll aggressively attack the smaller debt because the interest rates are similar. But traditionally, the snowball method is you pay off the smaller debt, gives you momentum. You take that expense that you would have made for the payment, and then you roll it over into the next expense. So that's what we're going to do. And once those debts are paid, this is where things get really fun, because you have no debts at this point outside of what I would consider good debt for the mortgages that we're renting houses out for, and we have that extra income. But outside of the debts being gone, it's like now you have all this free cash that you can put away towards other things, and that's where it gets really exciting. So I wanted to make this video just to highlight that my life is not smooth sailing, and in this channel I don't want to make it to where I'm always doing really well, like financially, or our lifestyle is always perfect. Like I'm making this channel to be as transparent as possible on how we're doing from a day-to-day like financial aspect, and really truly document our process to financial freedom, for my future self, but also my family and anyone else that might be in a position where they're trying to like get out of a rut, or see what it looks like to reach a much better place financially. So that's really what I wanted to make this account for, this channel, and share a lot of other relative or relevant topics along the way. But hopefully that gave some insight. And if you're in a similar position where you're not sure what to do, or how to get out of it, my approach that we're going to do is just earn as much money as we possibly can, focus in on our income sources. Like I work in sales, so I have the luxury of being able to earn more income just by putting in more effort. Typically, you're going to get paid more if you just put more time in. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm very likely going to take on an extra day of work throughout the week. I might even end up working 7 days a week. I have no idea. But if things get to that point where I really, really need to like turn on the gas, I'll fucking work 7 days a week. I don't give a shit. And that's what we got to do. That's what we got to do. But I am delusionally optimistic that we're going to be perfectly okay in the next couple months. Like this too shall pass. I know it will. But if you're in a position where you don't have the luxury of earning an income based on sales or commissions, my next approach would just be to take on more income sources, more jobs. Like I would work 2 jobs if I could. And I have in the past, where I'll work like a side gig, or sell things around the house, or really anything that I can earn outside of working hours of my main job, just to supplement some income, to save up for something that's not out of the picture. I'm open to doing that in the future. I do want to see how these next few weeks go, and if we hit a point where it's like, fuck, we really gotta earn some money, I'll look at what I can do to take on a second job and do that. So it's not something that I'm against. My ego isn't too high to where I'm like, oh, I can't take on 2 jobs. I'm too high and mighty for that. I'll fucking be a busboy if I have to. I don't give a shit. I want this more than anything in the world, and I want my family to be good financially, and this is what I'm going to do, and this is what I'm willing to do to make that happen. So that is everything in a nutshell. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this content, I'm trying to be as transparent as possible. Just hit the like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Hit some buttons. It really does help me out. And let me know if you have any questions or what you want to see next. So thank you so much. God bless. Stay